Single entry here in our first class of ewes, the Dorper ewe, that one that could come in, and you really have to appreciate this ewe for the balance and the look that she gives you in terms of her symmetry. A ewe that's extended up through her neck, her shoulders laid underneath, a ewe that's got plenty of rib shape. She's out returned to the center of her body. Ewe that I think is very high quality, and yet just really hard to pick a major hole in. Congratulations, that young man.
Congratulations to our champion pair ewe, Parker Breyer. Next will be the Dorset Advantage. The pair was also sponsored by Cindy Ferris.
Another single entry with a ewe lamb that you really have to appreciate the look that she gives you from this view. One that's really tall fronted, and one that's extra long bodied and square hipped and very feminine and smooth up through her front end. Good swoop to her underline in relation to the top side of her skeleton. The ewe lamb certainly handles with enough shape and muscle up high. Maybe want to give her just a shot more down to the lower part of her leg. But a really nice ewe lamb in her ride. Congratulations to that young lady.
First place in Class 1 was Layla Chapman. Now we're going to have Kyson Fox and Rylan Fox for Class 2.
I'm going to leave them like they stand. I'm going to start out with the young ladies, you over here to my right. I think one that just when you get your hands on them, they're just quite a bit over there, just in terms of mass and dimension on the top side of that one skeleton. Certainly bolder and rounder to her rib. One that's square and powerful when you get in and go from behind. And it still has some symmetry in terms of her lines and in the way she's made. maybe not quite as smooth and angular to her shoulders. We see the second place ewe, maybe one that gets a little bit tighter, maybe want to pick her up in her pasterns just a little bit. But I think you really have to appreciate her handling qualities, the overall stoutness that she gives you. And then ewe that's going to be second there probably is a little bit better in terms of the base of her shoulder and the way her chest is laid in her. She ties in probably a little bit more correct from her neck into that shoulder blade. One that's still square in her top line. She's good out of her hip. One that just wants to flatten for me just through the center of her skeleton and through her forehead. Won't have near the shape and power out through the lower part of her leg as we see our class winning ewe. And a nice pair. Congratulations to these exhibitors.
First place was Ryland Fox. Second place was Kyson Fox. And we need our class winners, class 1. Oh, never mind, Logan Cole, class 3.
Really a good design, really good balanced ewe that comes in here that can stand some competition in this breed. One that you really liked in terms of her silhouette, the way she's made up through her shoulder and her neck and her elevation there at the point of her shoulder, and yet she still squares up good out to the top side of her hip. I love her underline in relation to the top side of her skeleton, just the balanced appearance that she gives you, and yet she's still massive and very good in terms of muscle up high. Maybe gets a little bit flat with the lower part of her leg there, but being critical of one, offers a tremendous amount of good. Congratulations to that young lady.
First place was Logan Cole. We need our first place. We need Layla Chapman out of class 1, Ryland Fox out of class 2, and Logan Cole out of class 3. And the champion Dorset is sponsored by the Sealing Lions Club.
Bring our 3 ewes out and select a champion, and they have these 3, and I think there's probably one that really sorts out in my mind to win, and probably some give and take there for a reserve champion. One that suits me the best is the young lady that wins our last class. She's going to be our champion. She was a single entry, so we'll go ahead and select our reserve. Gets really close here between this pair. I think they're very contrasting type. I like the young lady here in the middle, be reserve. Congratulations.
We need to line up. We need to line the rest of them up. Layla Chapman and Tyson Fox. We need you back in the room. champion was Logan Cole. Reserve champion was Rylan Fox. Next will be the Hampshire, Chase Chapman.
Another single entry here, a young man Jude that comes in really late in her maturity in terms of elevation there at the point of her shoulders. A long-bodied, extended female, extremely feminine up through her front end, and the way her chest floor is laid in her. Excuse me. The ewe lamb that certainly offers good shape and muscle up high. That one wants to flatten a little bit through the lower part of her rib there, and just scouting her as she goes away from you in terms of being in her stifle there in the lower part of her leg. But a good design, good balance ewe that offers some quality and some look.
First place is Chase Chapman. Moving to our Shropshires, we got 3 single entries. We'll go ahead and bring them all out at once.
You're welcome. I'm short and sweet kind of guy. We'll all be first.
Three class winners that we'll discuss before we determine our champion in reserve. But coming out here in our first class, the ewe lamb that you really have to appreciate in terms of her basic build, and one that's stout at the ground. She's stout featured. One when you get your hands on them, there's a tremendous amount of shape and power, really rounded to the center of her body. She opens up good through her chest floor and kind of has that same kind of width and mass as she goes away from you. It wants to kind of squat on her a little bit, and it's one that sheep's not one to help herself, but when that sheep relaxes and gets up, you really appreciate that one, extension up to her neck and her front end. A nice ewe in that class. One that comes in the next class here, one that's really big in her kind. That one's tall fronted, good in terms of her length of hip and straight and correctness out there. The top side of her skeleton, she goes to the surface with tremendous amount of bone and footwork. One that's still angular and good up through her front end. When I study her in terms of muscle shape, there's plenty of good shape up high. Maybe wants to flatten a little bit as you get right in behind her. I'd like to open her up maybe through her forerib just to hear more as well. Young ladies, ewe that comes out of our big class here, one that's big and tall at the point of her shoulders. She's stout featured. A ewe that's probably getting past that cute stage and getting more in her working clothes, but a ewe that you really have to appreciate the broodiness, the depth of body that she has. When I get in, I just compare her maybe to the two in front of her. She's quite a bit bigger, but I think for where she's at, I like to just see her stout her all the way through. I like to square her up in her loin edge, maybe picks her out through the lower part of her leg, just stouting her in terms of just overall mass and width there all the way through, but one that still gives you a good look from the side in terms of elevation up front there. I think when you come down and you just get down to the nuts and bolts of it, one that suits me the best is going to be the young lady that wins her first class here in the middle, Be Reserved. Congratulations to that young man.
Harper.
Your champion is Addie Squires. Your reserve is Parker Breyer. Next, we'll move into our commercial ewes. We got a single entry for our first class.
Another single entry and Elam that comes in. It's really kind of far back in terms of her maturity and where she's at today, and I think time will be on her side. And where she's at, you really appreciate the extension of that one, how she's made through the front third of her skeleton. She squares up good down the top side. You just like to pull her apart in terms of overall dimension and integrity through her body there, stouting her up as she goes away from you. And a nice balanced view that gives you a neat look in terms of her profile. Congratulations, that young lady.
First place was Caroline Farrar. We got 4 in the second class. Tyler Schoaf, Hudson Bentley, Bringland Black, and Maya Moore.
think it's a tough decision here between a really nice pair of ewes on the top end, and I think they can go either way. I wouldn't argue with you. I can tell you what I see in them. I think the young man's ewe lamb that leads off is just when you get down on top of her and you don't even have to handle her. There's just so much more to that ewe. And you just start up on the top side of her skeleton and working out of her blade. She's just more massive. She has more spread there. Easily has more round turn to the center of her body. Squares up really good in her loin edge. The ewe that's good and powerful going away. And yet when you look at her from the side, that ewe still balances good through her neck and her shoulder. They want to fix her in her hind leg there a little bit. She wants to straighten her hop at times. I think that ewe, in terms of just her handle or width or mass, and still gives you a good look from the side, leads off to win. The one that's in second, I think that one from the profile, that one should strike you as the most eye-appealing. It does for me. And when I look at her, I love the levelness, the correctness, and that one's design. I think she's angles good, and she's made good into her neck as it transitions into her blade there, and still stout in terms of her feature. I guess for me, I just have to decide, is there enough there, just in terms of, not necessarily in her loin, but over her rack and through her forerib. I just don't think she has enough power and shape there right now. Maybe on 30 days to 45 days from now, when she goes ahead and masses up and matures more, it may be a different deal. But today, I'd like to just stouten her up there over the rack, give her a notch more forerib, open her up to her chest just a little bit for me. Young lady's ewe that's going to be next, a round body, thick one that certainly handles really good in the top side of her skeleton. One to me, I'd like to change her. She wants to pinch there a little bit in her pin set. She flattens through the lower part of her leg. They want to stouten her up in her features a little bit too. The ewe lamb that's going to be fourth here, probably a little bigger in her kind. I like that one's design. I like her balance. I like her look from the side. That one just needs more sheep there, just in terms of overall mass and thickness. Needs to be rounder in her rib. She needs to be a shot more powerful as I get right behind her. But a very good class, high quality animals all the way through. Congratulations.
First place is Tyler Schoaf. Second place is Maya Moore. Third place, Hudson Bentley. Fourth place, Ryland Black.
Huh? Yeah, whatever.
I think a challenging class, and maybe not that one that just wants to jump out and take the lead. And so I think there's some give and take when you start sorting these. The one that suits me the best, I think, is just the most complete and fault-free, and that's the young man's over here on the left. And maybe that one don't have the most ESTs, but I think it is the one that puts together what I like, just in terms of her balance. I think she's acceptable from that standpoint. One that's still good in terms of femininity up front. Her shoulders laid in are good. She squares up good on the top side of her skeleton. She meets your hand with some mass and some thickness, and yet still having an acceptable amount of condition on her. One that you just, I think, just comes in a class, and that to me, I think that's one of the easy decisions that we have, just from the fact that she just comes together in the most complete package. I think from there, there is some give and take. The young lady's ewe-lamb that's going to be next, no doubt that one is the thickest, that one's the most powerful. I think where you have to decide on her is how much condition is too much and acceptable. And I think to run with that one that wins, I think that one just pushing too much cover. I'd like to just trim her up, and just in terms of her thick, over her forerib, and up over on the top side of her skeleton. I think she offers plenty of shape, plenty of thickness, still has some balance to her. She just needs to be trimmer in her design. Young man's ewe, blue ewe, that's going to be next. A ewe that's tall-fronted, a ewe that you like the extension, a ewe to me that certainly offers good shape and muscle from shoulder to hip. She wants to flatten to the lower part of her leg. Then as we go to the surface, that's where you'd like to change her. Give her a shot more stoutness in her features, more bone, bigger foot size. I think if you do that, she certainly can rival the ones that go out ahead of her. Young lady's ewe that's going to be next, a different kind than maybe some of the ones that go out ahead of her. That one is very tall at the point of her shoulders, very late in her maturity pattern. At the same time, that one gives up the most in terms of internal dimension. I'd like to change her from a balance standpoint and drop her in her flank, smooth her in her loin edge there just a little bit. But a good class from top to bottom. Congratulations to these kids.
First place was Kyson Fox. Second place was Rylan Fox. Third place was Rustin Fox. And fourth place was Kirsten Finneman. And we need all our first place commercial ewes back in. We need Caroline Farrar, Tyler Schoaf, and Kyson Fox.
We select the champion. I think it's three. I think that, in my mind, I think one that really sorts out, just one that balances extremely well and yet has a tremendous amount of shape when you get your hands on him. That's the young man there in the middle. Congratulations to him.
Champion is Tyler Schoaf. We need Maya Moore. Reserve is Maya Moore. We need Hudson Bentley. Third is Bentley. We need Braylon Black.
I guess.
That's right. We need Ryland Fox, second place. We need Kirsten Finneman.
And I wouldn't say it would be, I wouldn't say it'd be too much, but I mean, a lot of them are so that are getting those within 1 week.
All right, we need all our breed champions come out and show for overall youth. We need Parker Breyer with his hair sheet. We need Logan Cole with her Dorset Advantage. Chase Chapman with his Hampshire. Addie Squires with her Shropshire. And Tyler Shoaf with his commercial. Grand View is sponsored by Western Medical. Reserve Grand is Visai Animal Hospital.
How many books do we go? there was how many was it?
A very high quality youth show, and we bring our champions back out. They're not all cut out of the same silhouette, and I think that other respective breeds are the ones that offer the most quality, and good ones can come in different shapes and sizes. I think we just have to appreciate that. And with that being said, I think it really boils down to 2 or 3 of them out here that you can honestly justify using, and it's not sound foolish doing it. And one that suits me the best is probably not helping themselves at all, just in terms of their presentation, and they're not really want to work, but I think offers the most quality and the most build, and one that I think, to me, has the brightest future. Young Lady Shropshire, that'll be our champion. Congratulations.
Your grand champion is Addie Squires. We need Parker Briers, Shrop U. Reserve will be Tyler Schoaf. We need Maya Moore. Hudson Bentley, 3rd place commercial U. Parker Briers Shrop, Kirsten Finema.
Parker. You're good. Hey, Parker, you're good. You can go. The rest of you stay. Go. We need Ryland Falk, Class 2 Reserve. Dorset. Show so many.
We need Breland Black, fourth place, commercial. That's right. Ryan Fox. Need Layla Chapman, Dorson Advantage. Need Tyson Fox, Dorson Advantage U. That's it. Thank you. We'll take a 5-minute break, then we'll start our weather show.
unplug it and plug it back in, it'll. All right, battery. We'll keep this battery here.
Single entry here in our Dorper class, and one that you really have to appreciate this one for the look and the balance that he possesses. Tall-fronted, long-bodied individual, still offers good shape and muscle up high. Wanted to appreciate just the overall appearance that he has. I love his straightness of lines in relation to his belly and his underline. He's really correct from a balance standpoint. Congratulations, that young man.
First place was Parker Breyer. We need Class 2, Addison Lewis and Rosin Gammon.
Yeah, man.
Nice pair of Dorper Weathers. The young lady's going to lead off, and I think when you get into this situation, both of them offer plenty of muscle, plenty of shape. I think they're just balanced, more balanced, higher quality look than this young lady's Weather that leads off. He's better at the point of his shoulders. He's more correct in his lines. He's one that's laid in smoother and flatter. His chest floors are not neater for me in relation to the young man's Weather. It's going to be second. Young man's Weather, that's second. I like his stoutness at the ground, his feature there. He's round the center of his body. He wants to get a little bit rough in his shoulder, wants to duck down there a little bit, just doesn't tie in quite as smoothly from that standpoint. I think if you change him up to his front one third, he gets more competitive with our class winner. Congratulations, these two individuals.
First place was Addison Lewis. We need Parker Breyer. His first place, Class 1. And this is sponsored by the Visai Animal Clinic. Visai Oklahoma.
Two really nice Weathers to select a champion from. And I think when you get into here, there is some give and take. To me, one just a notch better, just in terms of feature and substance at the ground. I think one has the advantage just in terms of squareness up top. Just a little bolder and square out through their hip. Young lady wins her second class as a winner champion.
Brand is Addison Lewis. Lady, we need Rosin Gammon, his second place. Third is Parker Breyer. Next, we'll move into our Dorsets. We have two.
I wonder who's going to win this one. I bet Logan Cole wins reserve.
Single entry here in our Dorset class, and one that you really appreciate the elevation that one offers up front. He's really extended through his neck. He's flattened his blade. One that goes uphill and everything goes in the right direction. I think one that you appreciate the shape of muscle that he gives you from shoulder to hip. Not to give him just a shot more down to the lower part of his leg, maybe open him up to the center of his skeleton. What a nice balance, really attractive weather here from the side. Congratulations, that young lady.
First place was Logan Cole.
Kind of a similar situation we have here, a big frame, an individual that's long-bodied and really late in his maturity. He's extended up to his front 1/3 and he's smooth and angular in his shoulder. Maybe ideally you'd like to just give him a shot more shape and power all the way through. Wants to flatten up, get just a little bit more vanilla in terms of his touch, but a really attractive weather that balances good here. Congratulations to her.
First place, Logan Cole. Now we'll show for Grand, and it is sponsored by County Line Supply.
Young lady there in the back has both of these individuals, and I think they're similar just in terms of their elevation and the way they're built from a design standpoint. I think to me one just has a big advantage just in terms of true shape of muscle when you get your hands on it. I like the lighter weight, we're here to be our champion in the heavyweight for reserve.
Next, we'll move into our Hampshires. We have one single entry, Tyler Schofield.
Single entry in this class of Hampshires, but one that certainly could stand some competition. That one's a stout-made individual. When you talk about from the ground up, just in terms of his bone and his foot, he's round through his body, handles really good up high, and still have good plenty good in terms of his balance and attractiveness. Congratulations on that winner.
First place was Tyler Schoaf. Class 2, we need Addie Squires and Kyson Fox.
I think balance is really what separates these two. The young lady's weather to me just comes in a lot more attractive package, and it blends better from front to rear. The way his shoulders laid in him, he still has some extension to his neck. His chest floor is right. Yet he's good in his top line in relation to there underneath. Squares up good out of his hip, and certainly doesn't disappoint you in the amount of muscle he has. Whether that's going to be second, really wide, really thick, just in terms of his boldness and power all the way through. I want to just push him way too much condition for me today. I'd like to reconstruct him up to his front end as well, lengthen him out in his neck, pull that chest floor back just a little bit, but a really good sheep in his own right, just in terms of muscle and shape. Congratulations, these exhibitors.
First place was Addie Squires. Second place was Kyson Fox. Class 3, we need Addison Lewis, Mikhail Hamill, Kirsten Finema, and Rosalind Gannon.
challenging class. I think there's 4 really good sheep in here. I can tell you how I sort them and what I see. I think the first one kind of combines maybe what these two behind him offer, their strengths. He puts it together in the best package. That one is really powerful when you get your hands on him. Super opened up through his rib. He's one that's busted really wide open through his rack and just gets wider as he goes back. One that's super good in terms of power through his hip and stifle. He carries that well. Then when you watch him set him in motion, he's the one that still holds himself together collectively in terms of his feet and legs. Yeah, I'd like to maybe pull him up to the center of his body and maybe tuck him just a little bit for me. But I think one just in terms of his pieces, the way that they go together, his handling qualities and his shape, I think that one needs to win. And Ladies Weather in second. That one is probably, it sells as much as any of them just in terms of cutability. And you don't say that much anymore, but that one's got a lot of muscle, and he's just pretty bare in terms of his finish. Not too bare, but he's probably at the least condition of any of them on there, and so that's a good thing, in my opinion. Really squares up really good down the top side of his skeleton. He's wide from stifle to stifle. I like to change him in his hip just a little bit in terms of picking him up there in his dock, changing, reconstructing for that. And 2, I maybe want to change him in terms of length of body and the way his shoulder sits in him just a little bit. That's being critical of one that offers a lot of good. Ladies Weather that's in third, that one may hit you the hardest in terms of his lines and just he gets up and drives and he looks good from the side. When I start picking that one apart, I like those things about him. I'd like to drop him in his flank a little bit in relation to his forerib and change him in terms of his balance. I think when I get my hands on him of these initial 3, he's the most nondescript in his muscle. I just don't think he's got the width, but I don't think he's got the sheer shape that we see in the 2 that go out ahead of him. Young Man's Weather that's going to be fourth here. He's the one that's long-bodied. He's got some width to the center of his skeleton. He's just a little plainer in terms of his balance and his look. He gives up the most muscle shape of these 4. But a really competitive class. Congratulations to these exhibitors.
First place was Kirsten Finema. Second place, Mikhail Hamill. Third place, Addison Lewis. Fourth place, Rosin Gammon. We need to line up. First place, Hamps. Tyler Schoaf, Addie Squires, Kirsten Finema, and this will be sponsored by Sealing State Bank.
probably one of the tougher decisions that we've had thus far. And I think there's three quality individuals. I think they're just really different in their kind. And so, as I said earlier, they can come in different, good ones can come in different shapes and sizes. We just have to appreciate for what they are. And I think all three of these offer a tremendous amount of quality. Maybe it's a situation if you can combine some pieces, you could really come up with the one that you just really hits you the hard. But I think when it comes out to two, and I go through and get my hands on them, I think one that just kind of separates themselves just in terms of their handle and their shape, their freshness today, one that still gives you a neat look just in terms of their silhouette. That's the young lady here in the middle. She'll be our champion. Congratulations.
The grand champion is Addie Squires. We need Kyson Fox. Hot shot. Reserve was Tyler Show. Your pot's right. We need Mikhail Hunt. We need Addison Lewis. We need Rosin Gammon. Okay, that's all of them. Next, we'll move into our naturals. We got 2 single entries. They'll come out at the same time.
Shave some time off this sucker. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.
Pair of natural colored weathers that won their classes, and we'll discuss these before we name our champion. The lady that wins her first class here, one that's really stout in terms of her features, and stored at the ground, big-footed, one that's rugged in her design. Yet you work your way to the center of their body, and he's still round to his skeleton. A weather that shapes up good behind his blade and over his rack. They want to change him as it ties in there from his transitions from his loin edge back to his hip, but one I think really balances good and gives you a good presence from the side. Young ladies, whether this one's their second class, a lot of muscle in that one. He's big bodied and thick, really shapely up high, got a lot of power when you study him from behind. Whether to me, I'd like to just change him maybe in terms of his balance a little bit. He wants to get a little bit rougher up through his front end, and I'd like to tuck him up there, maybe give him just a shot more bone and foot. Really close placing though. I like the young lady here of her first class for champion, young lady in second class for reserve.
The champion is Maya Moore. Reserve is Ryland Fox. Next, we move into our Shropshires. We have, again, 2 single entries. We'll bring them both out at the same time. Pick your champ and your reserve.
Lee County Conservation. You like this color? I know it. Oh yeah, I'll tell you. Oh yeah, no. I think the braking and everything, this is good. Like you said, I didn't, not yet.
But that one goes to the last. Yeah.
Paris Romford Weathers that will select a champion in reserve from the young man that wins our first class there. One that really impressive in terms of his handle. Excuse me. He's got a really big top in him. He's laid in there. He squares up good. Gets progressively wider as he goes back. A lot of shape and turn to the center of his skeleton. He's stout featured and still gives you a good look in terms of balance here from the side. Ladies, whether our second class, one that's really big in his kind. That one's tall fronted and long bodied. He's stout featured as well. I don't like the width in terms of the center of his skeleton. Maybe he's pushing this a little bit past 12 o'clock in terms of freshness today. May want to freshen him up there in terms of his loin edge and maybe give him just a shot more power from shoulder to hip. I think when all's said and done, I'm gonna opt with the young man's fresher, more muscular weather over a lightweight class. Young ladies heavyweight will be reserved.
And your champion is Parker Breyer, and as sponsored by Dewey County Conservation District. Next, we will move into the South Down. We have 2 in the first class, Ryland Fox and Wheelie Pittman.
Oh, you guys are killing me. No? I know. It's okay.
Nice pair here in the South Downs. I'm going to use the young man here closest to me. I think a Weather to me is just when you study him in terms of his cutability and where he's at today, I think he has a big advantage there. One that's still trimmed down to his over his forehead and up top. Yet still offers a lot of muscle and shape. He gets wider as he goes back. One that's still really good in terms of his length aside, his shoulders laid in him good. I think a really nice South Down Weather. In Ladies Weather, it's going to be second. Certainly not a slouch in his own right. That one's really muscular to the touch. One that's stick down the top side of his skeleton. He opens up with a lot of power and dimension when you get in there from behind. He's a little bit shorter sided. He's a little bit coarser and deeper in his chest. And probably what I'd deem to be ideal. Maybe want to firm him up there over his forehead as well. But a good pair. Congratulations, these kids.
First place is Riley Pittman. Second is Rylan Fox. We have a single entry in Class 2, Maya Moore.
Oh, yeah.
Really a big frame, exotic looking Southbound Weather here, just in terms of his maturity and his elevation up front. That he's still stout featured at the ground. One that maybe we're going to be critical of him. I just like to open him up to the center of his body, give him a much more muscle shape up high, but an really attractive profiling weather that balances good from the side.
No, it's on the way. It's on the way? I can get it. No, it's okay. We got to track it.
We need our two first place, Maya Moore and Riley Pittman. Sponsored by Ben and Peggy Cole.
So we get our class winners out here and we select. I think there's just me just one. This offers more tone, more freshness, more muscularity, and still balances in a very acceptable package. Young man out of our first class will be our champion.
See? All right. They're on the top.
Reserve was Maya Moore. We're going to go into our white face crosses. First class, single entry, Colton Farrar.
Single entry here in our white face crosses, and one that's really green and immature today. I think again, time will be on his side, and I think as he goes ahead and matures and develops. Today, you really have to appreciate the extension that he offers through his neck, one that's still useful in his shoulder and his chest. I don't want to level him up out of his hip, just give him a shot more power to the center of his skeleton to improve him today. Let's congratulate that young man.
second class, we need Tyler Shove and Kyson Fox. In our class 1, Colton Farrar was first place.
Since he was a senior, kind of hard for him not to do anything this season. There's a lot of people that do it this season.
Young man over here on the right is going to have our class winner, and I think it's a real high quality sheep just in terms of his look and his presence from the side. One that's very angular up front. He's extended through his neck. He's good in his lines. He's one still a stout featured. You get your hands on him. There's plenty of muscle shape and power there. Young man's weather that's going to be second. One you liked in terms of his width, his overall dimension. When I get into studying from behind, his round grid, he's thick-ended. One to me that it's a little quicker in his maturity. I'd like to just maybe trim him up in his terms of condition, lengthen him out through his front end. But a nice pair. Congratulations, this young man.
First place was Tyler Shove. Second place was Kyson Fox. We have a single entry in class 3, Logan Cole.
Another single entry here, and a young lady's weather is one that's really extreme in terms of his frame, length of skeleton, one that still is good looking from the side. His way he blends from front to rear, the shoulders laid in him good, and his chest is tucked up like you like. Maybe one that could just get a shot more power and thickness when you get in from behind and study in terms of his structural width and integrity there. And still one that balances good from this view. Congratulations to her.
Logan Cole, first place. For class 4, we got us another single entry, be Rylan Fox.
Real powerfully constructed weather here in this class. He's stout featured, he's heavy muscle, one that's really toned and shapely when you get in and studying from behind. It's round to the center of the skeleton. Maybe I'd like to tuck him up there in the center of his body a little bit, but one that still offers some pieces that you really have to appreciate just in terms of being product oriented and still has a lot of structural width and integrity. Congratulations to her.
Congratulations, Rylan Fox. We need all our first place white face crosses, Colton Farrar, Tyler Shove, Logan Cole, and Rylan Fox. And it is sponsored by Dewey County Abstract.
Yeah. He was gonna go sleep off them ribs. He must have had a bunch of ribs because he left at 1 and it's 6. just talking about you. Said you left at 1 o'clock to go sleep off them ribs, and it's 6 o'clock now.
I've been flipping through there, putting out hay.
In our whiteface division, we get out these 4 class winners out and select a champion, and certainly there's some variety in terms of kind. And with that said, I think that there's one that really stands out in my mind, just in terms of his quality, his build, one that balances extremely well. Love his handle. That's the young man there in the 2nd class. Congratulations to him.
Congratulations, Tyler Schoaf. We need Tyson Fox. Reserve is Ryland Fox, hot track.
Keep going.
We'll move into our black face crosses. We have a single entry in Class 1, Colton Farrar.
Young man has a single entry here in our lightweight crosses, and a good balanced individual that's really neat from the side in terms of his strength of lines. He's smooth and angular in his shoulder. He just needs more power, more product in him when you get in and study him and get your hands on him. But one you really have to appreciate the look and the balance that he gives you from the side.
Congratulations, Colton Farrar. Class 2, we have another single entry, be Tyler Schoaf.